Genesis chapter 28, verse 1. So Isaac called for Jacob and blessed him. Then he commanded him, do not marry a Canaanite woman. Verse 2. Go at once to Padan Aram, to the house of your mother's father Bethuel. Take your take a wife for yourself there, from among the daughters of Luban, your mother's brother. Verse 3. May God Almighty bless you and make you fruitful and increase your numbers until you become a community of people. Verse 4. May he give Verse 4. May he give you and your descendants the blessings given to Abraham, so that you may take possession of the land where you now reside as a foreigner, the land God gave to Abraham. Verse 5. Then Isaac sent Jacob on his way, and he went to Padan Aram, to Laban, son of Bethuel the Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, who was the mother of Jacob and Esau. Verse 6. Now Esau learned that Isaac had blessed Jacob and had sent him to Padan Aram to take a wife from there, and that when he blessed him, he commanded him, do not marry a Canaanite woman. Verse 7. And that Jacob had obeyed his father and mother and had gone to Padan Aram. Verse 8. Esau then realized how displeasing the Canaanite women were to his father, Isaac. Verse 9. So he went to Ishmael and married Mahalat, the sister of Nebaioth, the daughter of Ishmael, son of Abraham, in addition to the wives that you already got. Married Mahalat, the sister of Nebaioth, the daughter of Ishmael, son of Abraham, in addition to the wives that you already got. Married Mahalat, the sister of Nebaioth, the daughter of Ishmael. Gotcha. Gotcha. Huh. Gotcha. Verse 10. Jacob left Beersheba and set out for Haran. Verse 11. When he reached a certain place, he stopped for the night because the sun had set. Taking one of the stones there, he put it under his head and lay down to sleep. Verse 12. He had a dream in which he saw a stairway resting on the earth, with its top reaching to heaven, and the angels of God were ascending and descending onto it. Verse 13. There above it stood the Lord, and he said, I am the Lord, the God above it. What? There above it stood the Lord, and he said, I am the Lord, the God of your father Abraham, and the God of Isaac. I will give you and your descendants the land on which you are laying, lying. Verse 14. Your descendants will be like the dust of the earth, and you will spread out to the west and to the east, to the north and to the south. All peoples on earth will be blessed, and through you and your offspring. Verse 15. I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you. When verse 16. When Jacob awoke from his sleep, he thought, surely the Lord is in this place, and I was not aware of it. Verse 17. He was afraid and said, how awesome is this place! This is none other than the house of God. This is the gate of heaven. Verse 18. Early the next morning, Jacob took the stone he had placed under his head and set it up as a pillar and poured oil on top of it. Verse 19. He called that place Bethel, though the city used to be called Luz. Verse 20. Oh man, I forgot. Forgetting. Well, it's been like a few weeks since I recorded. Then, verse 20. Then Jacob made a vow, saying, if God will be with me and will watch over me on this journey I am taking, and will give me food to eat, to eat and clothes to wear, so that I will safely return to my father's household. Then the Lord will be my God. Verse 22. And this stone, which I have set up as a pillar, will be God's house, and for all and of all that you give me, I will give you a tenth. Let's see. Genesis chapter 29, verse 1. Jacob arrives in Padan Aram. Then Jacob continued on his journey and came to the land of the eastern people. Verse 2. There he saw a well in the open country, with three flocks of sheep lying near it, because the flocks were watered from that well. The stone over the mouth of the well was large. Verse 3. When all the flocks were gathered there, the shepherds would roll the stone away from the well's mouth and water the sheep. Then they would return the stone to its place over the mouth of the well. I'll be right back. Verse 4. Jacob asked the shepherds, my brothers, where are you from? We're from Haran, they replied. Verse 5. He said to them, do you know Laban? Nahor's grandson. What the? Nahor's grandson? Yes, we know him, they answered. Verse 6. Then Jacob asked them, is he well? Yes, he is, they said. And here comes his daughter, Rachel, with the sheep. Verse 7. Look, he said, the sun is still high. It is not time for the flocks to be gathered. Water the sheep and take them back to pasture. Verse 8. We can't, they reply, until all the flocks are gathered and the stone has been rolled away from the mouth of the well. Then we will water the sheep. Verse 9. While he was still talking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherd. Verse 10. When Jacob saw of Rachel, daughter of his uncle Laban, and Laban's sheep, he went over and rolled the stone away from the mouth of the well and watered his uncle's sheep. Hmm. Verse 11. Then Jacob kissed Rachel and began to weep aloud. Verse 12. He had told Rachel that he was a relative of her father and the son of Rebekah. So she ran and told her father. Verse 13. As soon as Laban heard the news about Jacob, his sister's son, he hurried to meet him. He embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his home. And there Jacob told him all these things. Verse 14. Then Laban said to him, "You are my own flesh and blood." Verse 15. No, wait, not verse. After Jacob had stayed with him for a whole month, verse 15, Laban said to him, "Just because you are a relative of mine, should you work for me for nothing? Tell me what your wages should be." That's a good person. Verse 16, now Laban had two daughters. The name of the older was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Verse 17, Leah had weak eyes, but Rachel had a lovely figure and was beautiful. Verse 18, Jacob was in love with Rachel and said, "I'll work for you 7 years in return for your wait. I'll work for you 7 years in return for your younger daughter Rachel." That's really hard to read. Verse 19. Laban said, "It's better that I give her to you than to some other man. Stay here with me." Verse 20. So Jacob served 7 years to get Rachel. But this seemed like only a few days to him because of his love for her. Verse 21. Then Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife. My time is completed and I want to make love to her." Verse 22. So Laban brought together all the people of the place and gave a feast. Verse 23. But when evening came, he took his daughter Leah and brought her to Jacob, and Jacob made love to her. Aha, you tricked Jacob. That's not Rachel, that's Leah, the oldest. That's crazy though. Verse 24. And Laban gave his servant Zilpah to his daughter as her attendant. Verse 25. When morning came, there was Leah. So Jacob said to Laban, "What is this you have done to me? I served you for Rachel, didn't I? Why have you deceived me?" Verse 26. Laban replied, "It is not our custom here to give the younger daughter in marriage before the older one." Verse 27. Finish this daughter's bridal week, then we will give you the younger one also, in return for another 7 years of work. Well, that's just belabored now, isn't it? And I knew it. Verse 28. And Jacob did so. He finished the week with Leah, and then Laban gave him his daughter Rachel to be his wife. Verse 29. Laban gave his servant Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as her attendant. Verse 30. Jacob made love to Rachel also, and his love for Rachel was greater than his love for Leah, and he worked for Laban another 7 years. Jacob's children, verse 31. When the Lord saw that Leah was not loved, he enabled her to conceive, but Rachel remained childless. Verse 32. Leah became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She named him Reuben, for she said, "It is because the Lord has seen my misery. Surely will my husband will love me now." Man, yeah, polygamy is not good. Verse 33. She conceived again, and when she gave birth to a son, she said, "Because the Lord heard that I am not loved, he gave me this one too." So she named him Simeon. Verse 34. Again she conceived, and when she gave birth to a son, she said, "Now at last my husband will become." What is it? She conceived again, she gave birth to a son. She said, "This time I will praise the Lord." She named him Judah. Then she stopped having children. Oh wait, someone. Sorry, I'm new to streaming. When was this? 6:23. Ah, I was way too focused. That's 10 minutes ago. So in kick, someone is there. I don't usually use Discord, so I don't know if I can go there. I don't even think I have Discord that much. How do I? Oh, too tiny. It's crazy. Okay, I guess I'll type it. I don't usually use Discord, so we can just bombard the chat here if you. I don't even remember my old list now to use there. Then let's go to Twitch this time. Here's my the chat. So showing. Hello. Where's my chat? That's crazy. Where's my chat? Oh, it's hidden. My goodness. So, well, uh, sorry for people that I missed. I'm gonna continue reading the Bible because I love the Bible. This is my first time streaming properly, and this is also my first time reading the Bible live. So Sorry for people that were here. I don't usually. I don't have any experience right now. Okay. What was I not again? This is chapter 21. I'm going to chapter 30 this time. Genesis chapter 30, verse 1. When Rachel said that she was not bearing Jacob any children, she became jealous of her sister. So she said to Jacob, "Give me children or I'll die." Oh, the context. This is crazy. The Old Testament, man. There's so many problems in Old Testament. This is crazy. Verse 2. Jacob became angry with her and said, "Am I in the place of God who has kept you from having children?" Verse 33. Then she said, "Here is Bilhah, my servant. Sleep with her so that she can bear children for me, and I too can build a family through her." Okay, what is the problem with this? You have a servant, but you have a sister. The sister was given children by God because she was not getting any affection. Like the saying blood is thicker than water is literally a saying because of how prominent it is throughout history. Why? Like, why do you want your servant instead of your sister to be happy and then raise the children with her? Like, isn't that just problematic? What? I don't understand your train of thought. I mean, it's a different culture. I guess it's jealous and stuff. And that's why it's one of the seven deadly sins. Along with wrath, pride, greed, lust, sloth, and gluttony. Envy is one of the seven deadly sins. That's why it's feared among every believer of Jesus Christ. I mean, even Judaism, I think they fear the seven deadly sins, but it's a different type. Verse 4. Well, okay. He gave. He gave in. Hmm. So she gave him her servant Bilhah as a wife. Jacob slept with her, and she became pregnant and bore him a son. Verse 6. Then Rachel said, "God has vindicated me. He has listened to my plea and given me a son." Because of this, she named him Dan. Verse 7. Rachel's servant Bilhah, Bilhah? Bilhah, maybe Bilhah. Okay, I'll say Bilhah. Silent H. Conceived again and bore Jacob a second son. Verse 8. Then Rachel said, "I have had great struggle with my sister and I have won." No, you didn't. Your sister is your blood. You should probably congratulate her. You have love. You have been given affection. Then should not should your sister not have the feeling of gaining that once that feeling of gaining what once she has lost. Like, man, that's basic math. Not even psychology, just one to one. That's math. But then you're adding negative numbers. Crazy. Verse 9. When Leah saw that she had stopped having children, she took her servant Zilpah and gave her to Jacob as a wife. Huh? I need to repeat that. When Leah saw that she had stopped having children, she took her servant Zilpah and gave her to Jacob as a wife. Okay, now you're just fighting people. People, you are fighting amongst yourself. That's so human. Verse 10. Leah's servant Zilpah bore Jacob a son. I mean, okay. So so children in this culture are like gems. They give you um riches or status or affection depending on what has been given to the father, the head of the family maybe. Verse 11. Then Leah said, "What good fortune." So she named him Gad. 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 Okay. Verse 12. Leah's servant Zilpah bore Jacob a second son. Verse 13. Then Leah said, "How happy am I! The woman will call me happy." So she named him Asher. Okay. Asher. Is there like a meaning to Asher? Wait a minute. You know what? I'll research it. Okay. God from the Old Testament meaning. In the Old Testament, the Hebrew name God primarily means luck, fortune, or good fortune. I see. How about Asher? In the Old Testament, the name Asher, Hebrew, translates to happy, blessed, or fortunate. I see. Okay. The need to reread that part. So they're fighting. The daughter of, I mean, the son of the servant for Rachel was also named Fortune in a certain way. I see. That's interesting. Um, this? Mhm. Okay. I don't know what I just did. Okay, so never mind. God and Asher are both the fortunate team son. Okay. Ah, thank goodness. Verse 14. During wheat harvest, Reuben went out into the fields and found some mandrake plants. Mandrake plants. In fiction, mandrake is a plant that is screechy or something. Is it mandrake or mandragora? I think I'm okay. That's great. That's great. An aphrodisiac. Cool. Is it different from a mandragora in fiction? Yep. Let's repeat that. Verse 14. During wheat harvest, Reuben went out into the fields and found some mandrake plants, which he brought to his mother, Leah. Rachel said to Leah, please give me some of your son's mandrakes. Verse 15. But she said to her, wasn't it enough that you took away my husband? Will you take my son's mandrakes too? Very well, Rachel said. He can sleep with you tonight in return for your son's mandrakes. Ah, man. This is so frustrating to read. All of them are so full of greed. Like, it's a different type of greed from today's society, but it's greed nonetheless. And then it's frustrating because it sounds so fictional. But then again, truth is almost always weird and weirder than fiction. And sometimes fiction gets inspiration from truth. So I guess that's where this is coming from. The frustration, though. Verse 16. So when Jacob came in from the fields that evening, Leah went out to meet him. "You must sleep with me," she said. "I have hired you with my son's mandate." So he slept with her that night. Verse 17. God listened to Leah, and she became pregnant and bore Jacob a fifth son. Then Leah said, "Jacob has rewarded me for giving my servant to my husband." So she named him Issachar. Issachar. Okay. I need to repeat that. I'm confused. Okay. So it doesn't matter what blood or who has legality on who has what son or what not. It matters who owns what they are. So, for example, if Leia thinks that her two sons earlier, this chapter 29, the chapter 29, yeah, chapter 29 later parts, Leia bore two sons, but then got infertile. But then her servant bore her two sons also, meaning she has four sons. The reason that happens is because to Leia, to this culture, what you own will be what you will have. Because the servant, Zilpah, because the servant Zilpah is owned by Leia, that would mean everything she owns is hers. So her son is her possession, with even without bloodline. That's what's happening in this culture. That's really interesting. Lore. Verse 17, I'm gonna repeat it. God listened to Leah, and she became pregnant and bore Jacob a fifth son. Verse 18. Then Leah said, "God has rewarded me for giving my servant to my husband." So she named him Issachar. I do not know how to pronounce that. I don't have any energy to research that also. Verse 19. Where is it? Leah conceived again and bore Jacob a sixth son. Okay, so four sons and two adopted. Verse 20. Then Leah said, God has presented me with a precious gift. This time my husband will treat me with honor because I have borne him 6 sons. So she named him Zebulun. Zebulun. I. Where's the Zebulun? Chapter 20. Verse 20. Verse 21. Sometime later, she gave birth to a daughter and named her Dinah. Dinah. Verse 22. Then God remembered Rachel. He listened to her and enabled her to conceive. Verse 23. She became pregnant and gave birth to a son and said, God has taken away my disgrace. What? Ah, disgrace. Oh, okay. That's like crazy, crazy mental gymnastics. I don't even know. Verse 24. She named him Joseph and said, May the Lord add to me another son. Oh, Joseph. Huh. Verse 25. After Rachel gave birth to Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, Send, send me on my way so I can go back to my own homeland. Verse 26. Give me my wives and children from whom I have served you, and I will be on my way. You know how much work I've done for you. Verse 27. But Laban said to him, I need to repeat this. But Laban said to him, If I have found favor in your eyes, please stay. I have learned by divination that the Lord has blessed me because of you. He added, Name your wages, and I will pay them. Verse 29. Jacob said to him, You know how I have worked for you and how your livestock has fared under my care. Verse 30. The little you had before I came has increased greatly, and the Lord has blessed you wherever I have been. But now, when may I do something for my own household? Do something for my own household? Verse 31. And what shall I give you? He asked. Don't give me anything, Jacob replied. But if you will do this one thing for me, I will go on tending your flocks and watching over them. Verse 32. Let me go through all your flocks today and remove from them every speckled or spotted sheep, every dark colored lamb, and every spotted or speckled goat. They will be my wages. And verse 33, and my honesty will testify for me in the future. Whenever you check on the wages you have paid me, any goat in my possession that is not speckled or spotted, or any lamb that is not dark colored, will be considered stolen. I see. Verse 34. Agreed, said Laban. Let it be as you have said, that someday he removed all the male goats that were streaked or spotted, and all the speckled or spotted female goats, all that had white on them, and all the dark colored lambs, and he placed them in the care of his sons. Verse 36. Then he put a 3 day journey between himself and Jacob, while Jacob continued to tend to the rest of Laban's flock. Verse 37. Jacob, however, took fresh cut branches from poplar, almond, and plane trees and made white stripes on them by peeling the bark and exposing the white inner wood of the branches. Verse 38. Then he placed the peeled branches in all the watering troughs, so that they would be directly in front of the flocks when they came to drink. When the flocks were in heat and came to drink, what? From the flocks when they came to drink. When the flocks were in heat and came to drink. Verse 39. They mated in front of the branches, and they bore a young. They bore young that were streaked or speckled or spotted. So selective breeding, I think, is what that is. It either by design or by accident. I mean, intention or accident. Verse 40. Jacob set apart the young of the flock by themselves, but made the rest face the streaked and dark colored animals that belonged to Laban. Thus he made separate flocks for himself and did not put them with Laban's animals. Verse 41. Whenever the stronger females were in heat, Jacob would place the branches in the troughs in front of the animals so they would mate near the branches. Verse 42. But if the animals were weak, he would not place them there. So the weak animals went to Laban and the strong ones to Jacob. Verse 43. In this way, the man grew exceedingly prosperous and came to own large flocks and female and male servants and camels and donkeys. Okay, that's for now. My throat is dying. That's a really fun story. I mean, it's a story, right? I'll I'll be gone. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you for watching.